on, folks? It's me, Derek Eichenwald, over at Triumph Capital Management. Yes, sir, indeed. Today was a face ripper. Your future is so bright, you got to wear shades, baby. Our face ripper today, Monday, August 3rd, 2026. Let's unpack what happened in the markets today. Let's lay out what's on the agenda, both from the economic and stock market earning perspective, our opinions on it. Remember, risk is involved when it comes to investing. Okay, today was a face ripper indeed. You had the Dow Jones Industrial up almost 700 points or 1.2%, followed by the S&P 500 that was up 110 points or 1.5%. And then the granddaddy of them all, the tech-heavy Nasdaq, up 540 points or 2.13%. What in the world drove the markets today? Because, my God, we had a wonderful market. Well, a few things. Number one, we saw the Iranian conflict have some de-escalation. And what that did was you had oil that slid by 5%. Big driver in the market. In addition to that, this morning you had the ISM Manufacturing number come out, and ISM came in at 55.6, a huge number. Expectations were that we'd see it at 54. So we beat it by 1.5 points, and that really drove the markets. You had some easing of treasury yields, and of course, we are coming to the end of earnings season, and earnings season has been fantastic. We'll talk a little bit about that stuff. The S&P 500, we are 10 little points away from a 52-week high, or really an all-time high, Today, as I mentioned, we closed at 7,600. The all-time high on the S&P 500 occurred on June 2nd of 2006, so not too many moons ago, where we closed at 7,609 and change. Today, we actually crossed it. We hit 7,610. Tomorrow, I do think we'll cross it. Why do I think we'll cross it? Remember, this is forward-looking statement and my opinion. Well, here's the economic calendar for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, what we get is we get job openings. Job openings are a good indicator of where the unemployment rate goes. Currently, we have about 7.6 million job openings in the United States of America today. Now, the consensus is we'll see a little bit of a contraction, bringing job openings down to 7,450,000. That said, I think we're going to come in a little higher than that. I think we'll come in a little higher than that, and I think that'll be a bit of a catalyst for the market. On Wednesday, we get ISM Services PMI. What is that? It looks at business activity, new orders, employment, supply deliveries, so on and so forth. And here's the key. Any number above 50 is a good number, meaning expansion. And any number below 50 isn't a great number. It means, it means that things are declining, okay, in the business world. That being said, as you notice on my screen, the consensus is that we see ISM Services come in at 54.5, an uptick of 0.5 point from our big number from last month of 54. I think in light of where we saw ISM Manufacturing this morning, we'll be a bit above 54.5, another catalyst for the market. And then, of course, on Friday, we get the unemployment number. Now, previous unemployment came in at 4.2. Remember, folks, where you want unemployment to be, the perfect place is right at 4%. So at 4.2, we're right near that perfect place. Consensus is that we come in at 4.3. Not necessarily bad, but I do think that we may see an unemployment number at 4.2 or lower. And if we come in at 4.2 or lower, big catalyst for the market. In addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, we're in the tail end of earnings. As of the close of business of Friday, out of the Fortune 500 companies, 304 of them have already reported. And with 304 of them reporting already, what we're seeing is we're seeing earnings growth year over year close to 30%. The real number is 29.3. And by the way, out of the 304 companies that have reported, an amazing 85% of them have beat analyst expectations. Now remember, earnings is the mother's milk for where stock prices go. When you have earnings that are exceeding analyst expectations, you generally have a market that goes up. Now, I will say this. There is a big cloud hanging over everything that I have just said, and that big cloud is oil prices. We saw a de-escalation occur today with what's going on in Iran, which in and of itself made oil prices slide by 5%, and you saw the market go up. That can change, on a dime. So we'll see where that goes. But assuming de-escalation continues, I think we'll see great earnings reports. And we have some big companies reporting this week. It's a real heavy week. We have Palantir reporting. We have AMD, SpaceX, Eli Lilly, Shopify, Uber, Airbnb, DraftKings, and Datadog. I think we're going to see earnings from all of these. And why do I think that? Unemployment's very low. Wage growth continues to exceed inflation or be on par with inflation. And when you have that happening, you have the consumer out there spending. When the consumer's out there spending, you generally have good corporate earnings. So it's really no longer a question of if a company beats, it's really a question of management guidance. What are the company's profit margins? What are they spending in AI capital? What is their pricing power? And how confident management presents themselves during that earnings call. So to wrap up there, if I think about the week ahead, today really set things up, and we have a lot of things that could be positive news in the market for the rest of the week. Oil may continue to slide. If that happens, improving market. With the economic reports that are on the table for the week, I think a lot of them are going to come in very positive, all catalysts for the market. And then what you have inside of there is some major companies reporting this week, and I think many of them will beat market expectations and therefore push the market up in totality. Derek Eichenwald, Triumph Capital Management. Investing involves risk, including the entire loss of your principal. Again, we bring you these videos for educational purposes, not to make a recommendation. However, you should watch these videos. It'll give you some education. It'll set you up with what's going to go on for the week and what we believe the economic reports will show and where the market may be headed. Make sure you consult with your own financial advisor, wealth manager, money manager, what have you. Thank you so much. Sign up for the channel, watch the videos, get educated on what's going on in the market and economies. And that's it, folks. The future for this week, I believe, is bright. So I'm wearing shades, baby. I'm wearing shades. Talk to y'all soon.